Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the Ordinary Boy Boxing channel. Now in today's video it's something a little bit different. It's not a quick pick video, but it's a selection of predictions that I have made in the past about boxing matches that, to be honest, I've got completely wrong. So I thought that would be a fun idea for today's video. Whether we like to admit it or not, there are times when fights have happened and we've made predictions and we've been absolutely wrong. So I thought out over the years the big fights that I've kind of predicted and the ones that I got completely wrong. So this is me being completely honest. I'm sure I'll get some flack in the comments, but do remember that I'm sure there was a time where you picked a fight and you were completely wrong as well. So I've picked 10, so I'm going to go through each of them, tell you my prediction, what actually happened and why I thought at the time the way I thought. And before I get into the video, just want to thank everyone so far who subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, then please do press that subscribe button because it really does help the channel. So starting with the fights that I got wrong. So first up is Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. Cards on the table, I was a massive Manny Pacquiao fan and I wasn't a massive Floyd Mayweather fan. Obviously this fight should have happened years and years before. I always favoured Manny Pacquiao in this fight. Had it happened when it should have happened, I predicted Manny Pacquiao to win by knockout. When the fight did happen, I predicted Manny Pacquiao to win by decision. My reasoning for this is I felt that Manny Pacquiao's style was all wrong for Floyd Mayweather. I thought his punch output was far too much for Floyd Mayweather to handle. The fight happened. Pacquiao, in my opinion, come in a little bit too heavy. He also famously said he had a problem with his arm. And Mayweather won by unanimous decision. Looking back, I think I was wrong. I think, unfortunately, it was probably clear to see that Floyd Mayweather could handle Manny Pacquiao's style. I think it would have been a closer affair had it happened a few years before. I still prefer Manny Pacquiao over Floyd Mayweather, but I think my thought process for all those years was that Floyd Mayweather couldn't handle Manny Pacquiao's style, and even though Manny Pacquiao went in a bit heavy and may have had an arm problem, I think we all saw that Floyd Mayweather, as boring as that fight was able to manage Manny Pacquiao and control that fight. So I got that one wrong, and it breaks my heart to say that because I'm a massive Manny Pacquiao fan. Going on to the next one, David Haye versus Tony Bellew 1. So this fight was made at heavyweight. Tony Bellew was not a heavyweight, he was a cruiserweight. He was coming up for this special fight against David Haye. David Haye, famously throughout his career, had not delivered on what he said he would. He'd made a comeback after several injuries, cancelled Tyson Fury fights and stuff like that. He'd came back, he'd fought really poor opposition on Dave, and now this was his big name comeback fight. I picked David Haye to win this. At the time, I didn't rate Bellew enough to feel that he could withstand David Haye's power, especially moving up to heavyweight. I was actually at the weigh-in for Haye Bellew 1, and I probably should have, I mean, you didn't see it on camera, but before they come to weigh in, you could see David Haye was quite tetchy. He was arguing with people, you could see at the side. So that was probably a sign that all was not well. Obviously the fight did happen. I had David Haye by knockout. The fight did happen. David Haye famously, his foot went during the fight. And the fight ended, you know, how it ended, but Bellew won by TKO, I think it would have been. Now, I was wrong. I can't blame it on the foot because they had a rematch and he got knocked out by Bellew again, so I was completely wrong. I gave David Haye too much credit. I did give Tony Bellew too little credit. Tony Bellew was very confident going into that fight, and you can see why. He had David Haye's number. David Haye was a shell of his former self, and even his former self wasn't as great as he made himself out to be. So I got that one wrong. Staying in the heavyweight division, the next fight, Tyson Fury versus Vladimir Klitschko. I predicted Vladimir Klitschko to win by points. I absolutely did not think Tyson Fury had it in him to beat Vladimir Klitschko by points. Going into the fight, I said the only way, he's not going to knock Klitschko out, especially with the style that Fury had at the time. So the only way that he can win is to outpoint him. But A, I don't think he can outpoint him, and B, even if he could, it would be close and the decision would be given to Klitschko because it was Klitschko was the home fighter. Turned out it was a terrible fight, but he outboxed Klitschko to the point there could be no argument. He was so awkward. Klitschko just didn't know what to do with Fury. And to Fury's credit, I didn't give Fury enough credit to go over there. And you know what an accomplishment to go over there to win those titles, to outpoint Vladimir Klitschko. So I got that completely wrong. Sticking with Tyson Fury, the next one that I got wrong was Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 1. I got the second two right, but the first one, obviously it was a draw. In reality, I think we all know that Tyson Fury won that fight. I predicted Deontay Wilder to knock out Tyson Fury, and I was pretty confident about it. Tyson Fury had lost all that weight. He'd fought very poor opposition coming back, similar to David Haye had. And I thought it was a mismatch. I thought Wilder had picked him at the right time. I think Wilder thought this as well. I thought Wilder would absolutely demolish Tyson Fury. That did not happen. Fury did go down twice in the fight. But for obviously the rest of that fight, Fury absolutely ran rings around him. In the second fight, don't get me wrong, I picked Fury, but I didn't think Fury would knock Wilder out. I thought when he was saying that was a load of bollocks, but he did. But I'm on about the first fight here. Obviously I didn't pick a draw, but I thought Wilder would knock out Fury. And in fact, even though it was a draw, I think most of us know that Fury did win that on points. Okay, so on to the next fight. It's Kell Froch versus George Groves 1. Now, I actually got this right, to be fair, but let me explain what's on the list. So I felt that Froch would beat George Groves in that first fight. But what happened in that first fight was, in the first round, Groves knocked Froch down. It was a back and forth between both fighters, but I felt George Groves was getting the better of Froch for the most part. Then, it's 50-50, but I thought Groves was doing a lot better than people thought he would. And then a flurry of punches from Kell Froch means Howard Foster stepped in and waved the fight off. Completely wrong. He shouldn't have waved the fight off at all. He should have given George Groves much more of a chance than he did. I'm picking this fight because although I picked Froch to win, that fight did not play out at all how I thought it would. At all. Froch was all over the place. George Groves was getting much better. George Groves was a lot better than I thought he was before that. I didn't think he was that good before that fight. I saw the fight going how the second fight ended up happening, which was quite tetchy, but then Froch kind of knocks him out, wears him down, knocks him out. But yeah, although I did pick the right person on that fight, it was not the way I thought it was going to go at all, and I thought it was an incorrect stoppage for Froch to win on that first fight. On to the next one. Now this is an oldie. I was very young when this fight happened. I think I was about 10 or 11 or 12. 10, 11, 12, something like that. And it's Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson. A fight that had been talked about for years and years and years. Should have happened years before and it didn't. Another kind of Mayweather Pacquiao situation. I felt, being little at the time, that Mike Tyson would knock out Lennox Lewis. And being absolutely honest, if that fight hadn't happened, if it happened now, I probably still would have picked Mike Tyson to knock out Lennox Lewis. I felt Lewis had shown weaknesses in his chin in the past. I felt Tyson was a ferocious puncher. What I didn't account for was how much of a shadow Tyson was of his former self, and he really, really was. This was nowhere near a prime Mike Tyson, and it was pretty much a prime Lennox Lewis. So completely got that wrong. Obviously Lewis won by knockout. Tyson, I don't even know if he trained for the fight. I don't know where his head was. It was a sad state of affairs. He actually went on to fight after, but that should have been his last fight. So we all got the Lewis-Tyson fight, but it was far too late. Another controversial opinion for some, Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis in their prime. I pick Mike Tyson every day. But in this instance, I was wrong. Staying with the heavyweights again, there's a good few heavyweights in this. I'm probably not alone with this one. It is Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 1. So obviously Andy Ruiz was a late replacement for Jarrell Miller after Jarrell Miller failed on the drugs tests. I didn't know a hell of a lot about Andy Ruiz. I'd seen him beat Joseph Parker, and that was a tough fight. That was a close fight. So that's all I've really seen. I could see how out of shape he were. Joshua was looking good leading up to that fight. I thought it was a bit of a mismatch, to be honest, because again, Ruiz isn't as known as he is now. You know, I'd seen bits of him, and I'd seen the Joseph Parker fight. There was nothing I could see. I thought, oh, he looks a bit quick now and again. Didn't think he'd get anywhere near Joshua. I thought Joshua would knock him out. I thought he'd keep him at distance for a few rounds and knock him out. I was absolutely wrong. Andy Ruiz had a career best performance. Joshua was just all over the place, but I can't take anything away from Andy Ruiz by blaming it on Joshua. I think how careful Joshua was in the second round is a testament to how hard Andy Ruiz hits and how quick Andy Ruiz was. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people saw the fight going the way it actually did. Andy Ruiz absolutely battered Joshua for the majority of that fight, so I was wrong. Okay, so on to a fight that happened fairly recently. Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders. I was in the minority here. I felt that Billy Joe Saunders did have a really good chance of outpointing Canelo here or making it close. My prediction was Billy Joe Saunders on points with an asterisk. Would the judges give him the decision? I had the same kind of feelings leading up to the just after the Fury Klitschko fight, when Fury was going in as a massive underdog. People saying, like I was saying obviously earlier, he could outpoint him, but he won't get a decision, and Fury did it. I felt this could be similar. I think I really do rate Billy Joe Saunders as a boxer. I really do. I think he's a brilliant boxer. He's very, very clever. He's very underrated. I don't know now if he'd be what he was. This could have been his last hurrah, really. I know he's on about coming back, but he's ballooned up in weight. But that's for another video. I felt that Billy Joe Saunders could do it, and although I was wrong, and he retired in the corner. With a fantastic punch from Canelo. I think a lot of that, he was doing okay in that fight. I'm not sure, I haven't rewatched it since, so I haven't scored it, but I'm not saying he was winning, but it was very, very close. So I can see why I thought the way I thought, but I was wrong. Canelo was too classy for him and caught him with that amazing punch, and yeah, he retired in the corner. So that I was wrong on that one. So the last two, Kell Brook versus Shawn Porter. Now in this fight, Brook won on points. I predicted that Shawn Porter would either win by late knockout or would win on points. I was very surprised to see Kell Brook get the nod. I've mentioned this in my Kell Brook retrospective video, but I didn't score that fight to Kell Brook. And a lot of people did, so I'm in the minority. I felt Shawn Porter did beat Kell Brook. But that wasn't the decision. And I did pick Shawn Porter. It was a closer fight than I thought it would be. A credit to Brook, because I thought Shawn Porter would batter him, to be honest. I really, really rated Shawn Porter, and I didn't really rate Kell Brook. So after that fight, I had to give Kell Brook a bit of credit there. So yeah, even after the fight I thought Shawn Porter won it, he didn't. Kell Brook did. And the popular opinion was that Kell Brook did, so I accept that. So I was wrong on that count. I'd underestimated Kell Brook and probably overestimated slightly Shawn Porter. And the final fight that I got wrong, we're back with Tony Bellew. So it was Tony Bellew versus Makabu. Bellew won this by knockout. He did go on to the... He did get knocked down during the fight though, but he did win by knockout. I thought Makabu was far too good for Tony Bellew. I was really underrating Tony Bellew, probably like I was in the David Haye fight. I thought it was a step too far for him. I was really impressed with that win. I really rated Makabu, and I thought he was far too good for Tony Bellew. There's not much to say on this fight. I was wrong. Tony Bellew really outperformed for what I thought he could do, and he then went on to do that again, obviously, in the David Haye fight. So yeah, Bellew winning by KO in that fight. So yeah, they're the 10 boxing predictions that I got wrong. If you're brave enough, let me know in the comments below, what fights did you pick wrong? Were there any fights that you were convinced someone was going to win and you got it completely wrong than someone else? Please do let me know in the comments below. Try not to be too harsh on my predictions. I didn't need to do this video. I could have lied and said, yeah, I thought Fury would beat Klitschko, and yeah, well, I thought Bellew would beat Haye, but you know, I didn't. So I thought it'd be a fun little video to do. So yeah, do let me know in the comments below what were your wrong predictions from fights gone by. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, and as I said, please do subscribe if you can. The channel's growing really well. Well, not nearly, we're getting up to 100 subscribers. If and when I do get to that point, I'm going to do a special video, so hopefully we can get to that point soon. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next video.